Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. I did a quick video last night, quick flash video, with regards to what we're going to call the Foreign Legion. That's the name used in the article. And it's all those people working at public expense in all the pretendy embassies around the world. None of them have any legal standing, of course. They're not diplomats, they're not foreign office workers. They're just mates and relatives of senior SNP officials and politicians. Jobs for the boys, nice little life, highly paid, nice little foreign country. What a jaunt, 2, 3, 4 years out there. Lovely. Well, it turns out that there are 3 times as many people employed in the foreign, and we use the word embassies, as there are in the Ethics and Proprietary Directorate. In other words, there's more people sucking illegally off the public teat, or at least if not illegally, immorally, than there are people paid to ensure that things are moral and ethical and right. That hardly surprises us, because it is, of course, the SNP, where such things are the norm. But it makes you wonder what other shadiness they're up to. Well, we know, don't they? There's just loads of it. Anyway, we'll take a look at this and see what's going on. Here goes. So, Humza Yousaf's Foreign Legion, and I do like the term, and I think that's one we're going to adopt now, expands to 54, which is more than the budget, tax or strategy teams. More, of course, than the ethical team as well. And that's very, very important. There are now nearly 5 times as many people working in the SNP's network of overseas offices as there are in the Directorate of Propriety and Ethics, which maybe won't come as a surprise to many people. Won't come as many as us. I thought it was 3. I misread it. 5 times. 5 times more people working in foreign embassies, sucking off the public teat, great expense, pointlessly, than are actually looking after the ethics of the government. Sums it up, doesn't it? Absolutely tells you everything you need to know. The SNP government has given a detailed breakdown of the number of staff working in its controversial network of what they're now calling overseas offices. They did actually call them Scottish embassies, but the backlash was such that they decided to change the name, and they're now overseas offices or trade missions and things like that. They're trying to hide the fact that they're doing it, even though there is absolutely, first of all, no need for it. Everything they do can be covered by the British Embassy, which is much more professional, much more highly backed up, and has, of course, more importantly, actual diplomatic protection. You can't arrest diplomats. Well, you can arrest them, but you immediately have to release them and throw them out of the country. You cannot do anything directly against them. Diplomatic corps rules are very, very strict. But of course, these people don't have any of that because they're not diplomats. They're not registered with the diplomatic corps. They're just regular Joes going about their business. Well, I say going about their business. They're just regular Joes wandering around the streets looking for something to do, raiding trash cans, shopping, thinking how boring their life is, but at least they're well paid doing it. Anyway, 7 of the 9 offices in Beijing, Washington DC, Ottawa, Paris, Dublin, Berlin and Copenhagen have a head of office supported by a deputy head. And although their pay grades are not given, the new head of office in the States will be paid a salary of £83,000 a year from your pocket. Why? Nobody knows. What does he do? Nobody knows. Why is he there? Well, somebody needed a job and they were a mate of, some senior official perhaps. Yes, I've just been made unemployed. Oh, don't worry, I've got a nice little job for you. Go to the States for a few years. Don't have to do anything. We'll pay you £83,000 a year. Oh, that sounds okay. Yeah, don't worry, it's fully expensed as well. That's what these people are up to. The civil servants in charge of the Scotland House offices in Brussels and London are paid at director and deputy director level, which is understood to be in excess of £90,000 a year. I think that would buy maybe a couple of nurses between them, 5 nurses between them, something like that. And I know that people would rather have 5 nurses than 2 wankers on, huge amounts of money doing sod all. Especially when there's other people doing the work, Of the 54 employees in the international offices, some 36 are employed directly by the Scottish Government, with the remaining 18 recruited by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office in each country. Why is this allowed? Just fire them. Just get rid. They need to be made illegal. Basically, no one can represent any Britain, any part of Britain, should we say, outside of Britain, unless it's through the Foreign and Commonwealth Office alone. These people have no standing, and they can actually cause damage. You have the likes of Alibaba going to these people and talking to them. We had the example over the Israel-Gaza issue. He wasn't speaking for the British state. He was speaking for himself. He could do untold diplomatic damage. He needs to be removed. None of them should be allowed to do this. No one outside of the FCO, the Cabinet Office or the Diplomatic Corps should be speaking to anyone abroad. Britain has to maintain a direct line and stick to that line. Having wildcards and free agents wandering around the globe, talking to people, passing on information. You don't know what state secrets these people are releasing. Without that kind of control, there's no accountability. It's got to be a crime. It's got to be treason, really. Anyway, remarkably, getting back to this story, the headcount is now larger than the Directorate for Propriety and Ethics, which has 12 staff. The Directorate for Offshore Wind, 23 staff. The Directorate for Tax and Revenue, 26 staff. The Directorate for Strategy, 27 staff. The Directorate for Budget and Public Spending, 37 staff. The Directorate for Digital Health and Care, 43 staff. And even the Directorate of the Chief Nursing Officer, 53 staff. There's more staff in pretendie embassies doing nothing at great public expense than there are responsible for ensuring that nursing across Scotland is up to snuff. Surely even thicky SNP voters must see that this is wrong. Surely they must see that the health of people is more important than the wealth of wankers in foreign embassies. And they'll still vote for the SNP, of course, because thicky SNP voters don't understand the concepts, do they? Anyway, there are now as many people working in the SNP's overseas offices, dubbed the Foreign Legion by cynics, who believe the money could be better spent at home. Anyone with half a brain. As there are in the Directorate of Culture and Major Events. There's 54 staff. The budget for maintaining the 9 offices is set to rise by nearly 12% next year, soaring from 7 million in the current year to 7.8 million next year. The increase is in despite of swingeing cuts imposed on other parts of the public sector by Finance Secretary Shona Robinson, who I am no longer calling a moron, thanks. Earlier this year, the Scottish Daily Express revealed the number of staff working in the foreign embassies had increased just 8 in 2016-17 to its current record high, and there are plans to expand further the network, with another office due to open in Warsaw before the end of the parliamentary term in 2026. Why? What purpose do they serve? None at all. At the time, Alexander Stewart, MSP, told the Scottish Daily Express this huge expansion in overseas staff will dismay the public, particularly given the SNP government are imposing swinging cuts on essential services. And the Scottish government said the international office budget represented 0.02% of overall spending plans. Don't care. Don't care how much or how little of the plans it is. The fact is, it's unnecessary expense designed to give mates a leg up. That's all this is. Oh, and look, it's helping the Scottish diaspora. You mean the British diaspora? Said it's boosting trade and investment. Scotland's now got some of the lowest trade per capita anywhere in the whole of Britain because it's seen as uncompetitive due to the tax problems. And also, everything there can be dealt with via the British consulates and embassies. You don't need this bullshit exercise in mate-ratery. Oh well, never mind. The thickies who keep voting for the SNP must be happy to pay their taxes to keep people like that employed at great wages in foreign countries so they can sit around all day doing sod all. Coming up. I mean, don't get me wrong. If someone was to pay me £83,000 a year to go live in the States, fully expensed, have my own place to stay, say 3-4 years, something like that, oh, I'd happily do it. Especially if there's no actual work to do, just sort of sod around all day. You know, go off for a bit of lunch, walk the dog, maybe have a drink, maybe have lots of drinks, maybe just become an alcoholic. There's nothing else to do. That'd be great. But of course, that's because humans do things like that. The point is, there shouldn't be a job. That should not exist. It's a pointless exercise. And I guarantee it won't go to anyone with any kind of diplomatic experience. It will be some mate of some official, or some mate or family member of some senior MP or MSP within the party. Because that's how these things happen. It's all nepotism and leg up, isn't it? Let me give my mate a call. He needs a job. And there you go. You're lumbered with the bill. Hey ho, keep voting for them. See what happens. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do keep an eye out. There's more to come. Please hit the subscribe button. We are working very hard. We'd like to get to that 9,000. We're getting ever so close, tantalisingly close. And so with your help, we can do it. Anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.